Hi guys, this is the performance video 2 for question 2. And question 2 says, one note reading piece, work out the notes and rhythms, and play one of the following pieces from the Hal Leonard book. Greensleeves, Shenandoah, Star Spangled Banner, Simple Gifts, and Minuet in G. So you don't have to say anything while you're playing these, but I'll demonstrate them, and you can sort of get a gist of how to play the rhythms and notes if you have any questions, and you can see the fingerings I'm doing as well. Try to get in here a little bit so you can see everything. Okay, this is Shenandoah. It's got a pickup measure, and again, I'm going to try and put all the pieces on this one video, so I'm going to get to it, and I'll count myself in. Be careful of the pieces that are in G in this group, and by that I mean the key of G. This piece has an F sharp before the time signature, which means all the Fs are sharp. High, low, and middle should be played 1 fret higher than normal. So that would be a wrong note if you play an F natural in this piece. Only F sharps. 1, 2, 3. Try to let all of that long notes, there's a lot of tied notes in that piece, try to make sure all the tied notes have their full value. So tap your foot or bob your head or practice them with a metronome a little bit before you record them. Again, all the Fs were sharp there, and don't play the second note of a tie. Remember, the tie ties the two notes together, so you pluck the first note and let it ring for both notes. And you don't have to say anything while you play. The next piece I'll do is Greensleeves, which is actually the first one on the list. I started with Shenandoah. Greensleeves is page 23 in Hal Leonard. And there are no tied notes and no sharped notes, but there are some ledger line notes. And remember, if it's a ledger line note, it must be played on the 6th or 5th string. I'm going to try and back up so you can see my right hand a little bit better here. This also has a pickup measure, so I'm starting on beat 3 in 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Again, be careful to give those long notes their full value there. And that was Greensleeves on page 23. The next example is the Star Spangled Banner. In this piece, be careful of a couple of things. One is there are some changed rhythms from the way we are used to hearing this piece. For example, that is straight quarter notes. That's the second measure, second line, first measure that I just played there. We're used to hearing this, which is a different rhythm. So be careful to just read the rhythm here. It's been simplified. Play everything really straight and on the beat. And there are some eighth notes in this piece, which means you have to divide some beats in half. And again, I'll do that now. Watch out, there are some F sharps that are marked in the measure here, and that means they're temporary. They're only good for that measure, and only if the same note follows in that measure, they would be retained. And there are only F sharps that are added in this piece, but not all the Fs are sharp, so be careful. You'll notice some on the D string being changed. This has a pickup on 3, but it's 3 and 1. And you'll notice that the fingering of the melody is based on a C chord shape, spelling out a C chord, so that might be familiar for you when you go to play it. So this is the Star Spangled Banner, and I'm coming in on the third beat of measure 1. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and 1, 2. There's an F sharp. 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. Straight rhythm there. There, I think I missed an F, so I'm going to replay that one time, and a C in the middle that I misfretted. So I'll do it one more time. There is a little curved line in measure 28 that's called a fermata, and it says you can pause there. I'm not really going to take much of a pause, but I'll play through it one more time. 1, 2. Better that time. And again, you can hear that the rhythms are simplified and a little bit straighter than we normally hear somebody sing that. People talk about how hard that song is to sing, and the reason is there's a lot of leaping. So when you play it, you're going to be jumping around a little bit from string to string, which makes it a good challenge and a good piece for this test. To test your knowledge. So just watch out for the F sharps and play the rhythms straight there. I'm going over to Simple Gifts on page 38, and I will play that is that example. That is a duet. That is a duet, and you are only to play guitar 1 on both pages 38 and 39. All the Fs are sharp. This is in the key of G, so make sure all the Fs are sharp. I picked this one because it had some running eighth note lines, which are like scale lines or scalular lines that are moving fairly rapidly. Again, you can play at a slower tempo, but this is a good challenge maybe for those of you who are more comfortable reading at this point. Starts on a pickup. You are only to play the guitar 1 part, which is the top line. Starts on a pickup, and it is an open D on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. those scale lines I'm referring to, things like or those types of things that you have a running line that you have to play. Again, you can play it at a slower tempo, but this is a little bit more of a challenge and a little bit longer. You are to play guitar one only if you choose simple gifts, and watch out for those F sharps when you're playing on the D string there in lines like that, okay? And the last one of my favorites, if you've played piano, you may have played this piece before, is the Minuet in G. This comes from a bigger group of pieces called a suite. Minuet in G by J.S. Bach. Johann Sebastian Bach, one of the most famous composers of all time. And this is got two parts or two pages. You're not to do the repeats of the piece here that are written in. Just play me guitar 1 on page 42 and then play me guitar 1 on page 43. This is Minuet in G. It is in the key of G, so all the Fs are sharp, and you've got a lot of those F sharps on the D string again, as well as F sharps up top. And then it does a slight key change for a moment in the second section on page 43. So there's a C sharp added. You should be playing that on the second fret of the B string. Second fret of the B string. And so notice I played the C sharp twice there, because it's written in the measure and then it stays in the measure. Comes back as a note head and it doesn't change, is what I mean, until I get to the end of that measure, and then they have to write it in again if they want it to be there. And it is. So every time it's written in, it's only good for a measure, but the F sharp is written before the time signature, so the F sharp is good throughout the whole piece. So here's Minuet in G, the last of the pieces. No repeats, page 42 and 43 in the Hal Leonard book. This is in 3/4 with no pickup. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and So remember, guys, you can do each example on a separate video, and I'm talking about the 5 examples that you're choosing from, not the pieces here, the separate pieces. You can record one of these pieces and send it on in by itself, is the point I'm trying to make. You don't have to put all your videos in, submit all your videos at the same time. So there's your choices: Shenandoah, Greensleeves, Star Spangled Banner, Minuet in G, and the Simple Gifts. So I believe everybody in the class is capable of playing one of those pieces, and again, that would be 25% of your final right there. So have a great day, and look for the rest of the videos in this series to explain the rest of the performance examples.